Hey everybody, welcome to a new episode of Fire Away. My name is Robert and this week I am joined by the man who you saw last week giving his testimony, Stefan Foldesi.
Hello everyone.
Yay, he's back. He's back in the chair and he just said it's very comfortable chair. So let me do a quick shout out. If you want to be in a chair with me, sitting here, just doing a podcast, sharing your testimony, then hit us up, leave a comment or send us an email. If you're of the age of emailing, then just send us an email, info@czalive.com. But for now, my days, he's back. The man who has lived not so crazy life, but a good life already.
Hopefully.
Yeah? No.
It felt good.
Yeah. For the people who haven't watched your testimony, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Stefan. I've traveled a lot in my life because I couldn't find a steady place. I was trying out a lot of stuff and now I ended up here in Czech Republic, basically my hometown, and yeah, since then I've worked here and also did some service in my church for around about 6 years now. Yeah.
If people want to look up your church, where do they need to go?
Oh, it's called Cesta Života.
Hey.
The best way now to find more about us is to search on Facebook or Instagram for it's Cesta Života. So Cesta Života _ JC, Jižní Čechy, South Bohemia. And do not go to our website yet, or maybe now if you're watching in the future, you already.
Then go to the website.
Then go to also to the website cestaživota.cz. Yes.
You're renewing the website.
Yes.
Which I have seen a preview. It looked quite good, but it has been a long time that I saw the preview ago.
So you can look at it. There's a new, almost the final version, or not final, almost the first public version.
Nice. Okay, so you're in the church now already for how many years?
I think it's about 6 years. Yeah.
6 years, going to a church that you like.
Yeah.
You love the people there. You're under the care of pastor.
I'm trying, yes.
What's the name of the pastor?
Petr Petrášek.
So if you are in the South Bohemia region in Czech Republic, definitely worth visiting while, right?
Absolutely.
Nice,
yes.
Okay. So last time you spoke about your life story. You shared a big part of your testimony. And the thing that stood out to me was something that I resonate with quite a lot, because your story basically shows that you have lived with one foot in Christianity and with one foot in the world.
Yes.
Now people might wonder, how does that work? Because if you go to church, you're in church. Why? How can you be with one foot in the world, one foot in the church? You want to elaborate on this?
Oh well. Yes, so it is not about going to the church at all, I think. It's more about, where your loyalty lies or where your heart is. So there are things things of God, spiritual things, which just do not mix with some things in the world, right? That's like we have, I think, many scriptures to base this
to back this up. Yeah.
And if you're 1 foot there and 1 foot there, you are just trying to be kind of the mix. So you believe that. Or you definitely believe you may be born again, full real Christian, going to heaven and everything. But there are parts of your life which are quite different from what the rest of the church or Christendom looks like. What are the things that are usually not, not supported by Christians, or that some of them there's a very thin thin line, or I do not think you always can deduce from the scripture whether certain thing is a sin or not, because it's not like we could go to another tangent. There's the letter of the law and the spirit of the law. And I believe that God's law is more about the spirit than about the letter. So for some things that just isn't there, it's more about the heart or about the spirit of the activity than the activity itself, right?
Yeah. I like what you said in the beginning. It's where your loyalty is.
Yeah.
You know, back in the day, if we go to the Old Testament, then it's all about loyalty. The loyalty towards God.
Yeah.
And if you had loyalty towards God, you were abiding to the rules that he set.
Yes.
Now, we all fail in these rules. Even now, if we would still have these same rules, we would all fail. But because of Christ now, there's redemption and all the good stuff.
Yes.
But loyalty is what it's about. If we are loyal to him, then it's not the letter of the law, but the spirit, as you said. It's the thinking behind it.
Yeah.
And I think a beautiful example of this is David. You know, he's called a man after God's own heart for a reason, because his loyalty was there.
Yeah.
Every time and always, although he made mistakes.
Yeah. Well, except for one time.
When was it?
That one time. Well, when he sinned with Bathsheba. That's the only thing that's written in the scripture. That's the only blemish on him. And we can see him making much more mistakes and making God angry, right? But there at the end it says this is the only mistake that he's ever made.
So would you say that his loyalty was diverted at that very moment that he cheated on?
Yes, I believe so. I believe that's why it's the only unrighteous thing he's done.
So turning this back around towards our lives, I can say from my own perspective that my loyalty was divided. I wanted to be loyal to Christ, but I also wanted to be loyal to my friends around me, what the people thought of me, my coworkers, all that kind of stuff.
And self, of course.
Hey, that's where it all goes wrong. Yeah. Loyalty to self, Yeah. So if we go any further from this topic, how was this in your life? This loyalty?
Yeah. Let me pick up where I've left off. I believe there were some. I was doing things. I think the most like obvious thing or apparent which you can see me doing was a lot of like heavy partying and using drugs and stuff like that.
Were you also loyal to these things, or would you say it was sort of an escape?
Well, there were different phases in my life, right? There was a part, where I did not feel any pressure. I just thought that what I was doing was like okay, right? And then there was the part which I believe I said that I was, one foot here, one foot there, was when I moved to Brno and started also going to church and meeting up with other Christians and serving and generally trying to fix my life. But I still, thought I could keep these things. Yeah.
So you were doing those things at the same time?
Yes. Those were two things in my life, both at the same time. Yeah.
How is this? Where did the conviction start? I should say, where did the conviction start of you thinking like, I can't do this. I have to be loyal to either one of these. I can't be split up like this.
I think it was just because I've moved from a phase where I lived fully in the world with no remorse to a phase where I actually started also a spiritual life. I think just the spirit in me started yearning for more, and I started to feel the
Was this a quick
conviction? Yeah,
a quick conviction, a process, or not so much?
I remember the point that was like the catalysis. and that was when I decided to move to Sweden to go to Bible school.
Yeah.
After I've heard testimony of Jeanette Obrechtová, but that was just expressing the feelings that I've already, been having for like a couple of months. Yeah, I think one part of it was that I've hit my 25th birthday, and first I felt old, crazy, 25, because I was like, that's quarter of a century. I couldn't have said that before. And also, I was living at a place where I did not really have any like good friends, like really, really close friends. I had some kind of friends, some, people
sort
I knew.
of friends.
Yeah. Brothers and sisters from the church, but none like really close friend. Yeah. And then also, I think quite a lot of people missed my 25th birthday. I didn't get too many like calls, and I think I was really depressed. That was one of the most depressing days of my life. And I realized like, I'm 25, and what happened since I was 20? Where has my life, brought me? How have I, moved? And I realized that I've basically stagnated. Maybe back there with the black glasses, it looked even worse. Maybe no one knows, but I would kind of agree with my past self that I did quite a lot of like stagnation in my life. And I'm the type of person who doesn't. Well, now it's changing a little bit, but I don't really, am searching for a goal or a point in life, or like, live somewhere, have family, buy a house. I just need to, see progress. It's all about, growth. There's no objective. There's just, growth.
And there was no growth at that moment.
Yes, basically. Yeah. And yeah, that hit really hard. And I think that was the seed that then, I think it was a year later, brought me to... Yeah.
So you start at that moment of stagnation and recognizing, like, my life is going nowhere.
Yeah.
The seed was born to say, okay, this has to change.
Yes.
And then your eyes were opened for the Bible school.
Yeah, I think
you started working towards that.
Started realizing then more and more that I have stopped growing because of the life I have lived. I never actually, we were talking about loyalty, and, if you said if you're loyal to God, you obey Him, which I agree, or you try to. But you can't say it's the other way around. Like, if you obey God in, everything, if you obey all of His law, you are automatically like loyal to Him, because your heart could be very like of a different kind, right?
I like that. Yeah.
And so that's why I never actually, what turned me back to God was never actually like, this is forbidden, other Christians don't do it, this is unusual, this is, bad, but I just started, my eyes started to open to how much it is taking me of my life, how much is it taking from me, or the lifestyle that I've lived,
Okay, wow, so it's actually the opposite. It was not the how you say this, the image that was before you, like, okay, if I change this, then I will have such and so with Christ.
Yeah.
But it was more so looking back and seeing, okay, this is going nowhere.
Yeah, basically that was it. This is going nowhere. That was like, I really thought I was going nowhere. Yeah.
I would say for me, it was a process as well. It's when you're not I make jokes around here saying, like, using the word Supersaint, the Super Saints.
Yeah.
It's not overnight that you're a Super Saint. This is a process.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I'm a Super Saint right now. Yeah. Neither are you, if I may say so.
I'm not.
But we're doing our best, I think we can agree on this, that we have given Christ our loyalty. And in doing this, we still run into some issues.
Yes.
But having your mind made up, pulling your leg out of the world, out of worldly things, whatever that may be that contradicts the Bible, it's the start of a process in which we grow into becoming more like Christ.
Yeah.
And this will take our entire life, but it doesn't matter because we're living in eternity. So who cares? Man, okay, so you made this. You made the choice. You start growing. The process has started. Now you went to Bible college. You return.
Yes.
Then there's this shock. Okay, the world didn't change. It's even getting worse. How did you deal with all the issues that you saw around you, and you having pulled out your leg out of the world? You're now with Christ, 2 legs in. Is that a thing to say? I don't know. You committed. You're loyal. Yeah. And you're surrounded in a world that's crazy.
I'm with Christ with the leg that I'm standing on.
yeah. So how is that? What did you notice? How do you survive in a world like that?
So first thing that I need to say is that temptation did not go away, and I have I have not become a Supersaint, and I still sometimes could say for the past 6 years that I've been here that there were times when I was, one leg here, one leg there. But I think the main difference is that I see that as a problem always, that I'm never really like, sometimes they're just mental battles, with self, trying to rationalize everything. But I see that as I do not want it. I see that as a problem. I do not, try to.
So you recognize it, and the moment you recognize it, what do you do? How do you pull your leg again back to Christ?
Yeah, I just wanted to say one more point is also what is different that that now I've always have hope that that I'll be back with Christ. I that one time it happened something like episode like this. I think it's a few years ago. I just saw myself as a moth to the flame, and no matter where I fly around, I'm always still attracted back to the flame, And sometimes I do quite a long loops, but always the light will always get me back. Yeah. It just wins. Jesus just wins.
Hey,
every time.
Amen to that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So how do you then, like I said, how do you then, you recognize it, you recognize the situation, you say, okay, I slipped back into whatever.
Yes.
Let me get back to Christ. Yes. How do you get back to the light?
I've tried quite some stuff because I do not think there's a silver bullet answer for how to do that. Sometimes it's just patience, and hope, and I know that it will come. Yeah. Because I can't say that every time, I would like to say that every time I realized it, I immediately, turn, my heart to God and start calling out for help and just, focusing on Him. But I don't. I just do not always. I just want to be honest. Yeah. I think what would work is, as Jesus said, was just, we would have to cut ourselves apart for not to be tempted.
Not literally. If you're watching anything
in a video game. No, but it's a combination. There's always some patience. There's one principle is just always struggle. That means that never give up. Always always have even just the mindset of this is not correct. This is not where I want to be. Just do not compromise on this. And
this I like this. Yeah. As the moment we start compromising, it's a downhill slope from that.
And that sometimes it goes. Sometimes it's one prayer, and the other day I'm like this. Sometimes seems like nothing works, and like God is not speaking to me, and then it somehow happens. You don't see it. Grow and. Yeah.
All of a sudden, you're surrounded with mayhem, and you're like, man. But I want to get back to what you said. Again, when you started explaining, you said hope. keep hope.
Yeah.
And in the middle of Lamentations, I got the Bible out here. Lamentations, of all books.
Yes.
Of all books. Everybody's sad. It's almost like a funeral.
Yeah.
They're surrounded with mayhem. And then it says in Lamentations 3, verse 24, the Lord is my portion, says my soul. Therefore, I hope in him. And that's it. As long as our hope is in him, then there's a way to go through it. And if we would continue, it even says that we can start by saying, maybe there is hope. So only the smallest beginnings of hope are already enough to get us from a nasty situation away from Christ back to him.
Yeah.
And I think that you said the thing you said about mindset, the awareness, first of all, of being in a place that you do not want to be, recognizing this, then having the hope that is set before you, that should be enough to just change your focus, your perspective on the issue, and start climbing back toward Christ.
Yeah, and always struggle was
and then keep going. Never compromise in doing so. Now, I can imagine that people are watching, and of course, I know you way longer than we have this conversation, but that people that are watching or listening might question themselves, right? Or might question us right now, saying, okay, but now it sounds like I have to do everything. Is that what you're saying? That you have to do all this, or is it something else?
I have to do what?
You have to change your focus. You have to speak up and say, okay, I have hope. You have to keep on pushing through and have stamina to hold on.
I do not think that there is much doing in this. This is more like, hanging on than doing something. Yeah.
Okay. So what would it look like in a practical sense?
As I told you, there were different situations which were solved differently, and so this is more of a mindset than actually doing things. But one thing is maybe, for example, if you, let's say, start to or if I start to smoke or smoke weed, which is more of the case. I don't like cigarettes, but but then when I have after I've done it, when I have this, maybe I've done it, maybe I've started to regret it because maybe I just don't feel as good as I hope I would. Then I go ahead and throw away all the stuff.
That's like you said, you cut it away from your life.
And unfortunately, it is extremely easy to get a lot of stuff here in this age and town. But it is a sign of struggle. It is a sign that you are not giving up. Even if you maybe the next day go and spend even more money on something, this is a sign that or for me this is a sign that I'm fighting. I did not give in.
So just getting rid of that which causes the issue is the first step.
Well, for me it's not even about to get rid of it, but just to build up the fighting spirit.
It's the fighting spirit that we're talking about. Okay, so this was sort of the answer I was looking for.
So as I've said, maybe I will throw it away, and maybe the next day I will go and buy more. Maybe just if I did not, I would save some money because I could have it for 2 days maybe. But it at least it's a sign that I'm not I did not give in.
I would add to this that when it comes to doing, it's if we would try to do it from our own, we will fail each and every time. And we will give in and go buy the next day or watch something the next day or whatever. But it's if you are loyal to Christ, it's His Spirit that works in us.
Well, that's then the putting the leg out. That's what we can do. Yeah, that's why I've been so vague about it. Well, when you said how you do it, I don't have an answer.
Yeah.
Right?
It's just there's this a moment in time,
Yeah.
and it starts with this moment in which we have to surrender
Yeah.
to the leadership of the Lord.
Yes.
And the moment we do this, the process begins.
Yeah.
That we learn to listen to the Spirit's guiding, that we learn to perceive His correction, and then, the growth starts. And the longer you do this, the quicker you respond. So, putting that in my own life, I was hooked to pornography for a very long time, returning to it like a dog to its own vomit, time and time again. And already in the process towards diving into this sin, the Holy Spirit was convicting me. Now, when I started this process, I didn't recognize it. It was only afterwards, I looked at it, and then I felt the shame and the guilt.
Yeah.
But as time progressed, I started recognizing the Holy Spirit warning me before I even watched it. So I think this is where the doing becomes, how do you say this? It becomes dependency. Dependency on God's Spirit, who will guide us through those processes. And if we do this, if we are depending on Him, it shows our loyalty to Him as well.
Yes.
And I think this is the only way. Maybe you have a different way. Leave a comment in the comment section. But I think this is the only way how we can literally get off get out of this divided lifestyle in which we follow Christ with one foot and follow the world with the other. Because in the end, I think everybody has to agree that those two, they don't get along. You have to make a choice.
Two things. One thing, even though the doing, the pulling out is what what we can do ourselves, there are still things. Yeah, the heart is or the mindset. There are some things that we have in control, and what helped me to maintain the hope a lot was remembering things that God have already done for me, which is you can see also for example in the New Testament there are always instruction to remember what God has done, and so many places there is the God who led you out from Egypt and into the whole etc. So like thinking back, like when God helped me quit the psychedelics or alcohol, that was like I've never I know He can do it, right? I know, so that's something that helps me, maintain hopes in these times. I know He can do it, sometimes it's not quick. Sometimes you just have to persevere, And second thing is that sometimes the thing is, if you listen or trying to follow the instruction of the Holy Spirit how to deal with this situation, sometimes He will just refocus on you on something up like completely different, and just this time to focus on this area of your life, and then the thing just becomes secondary, and then it's kind of fizzles out. Sometimes the solution is something completely else, a complete pivot, not trying to stop doing it, not trying to find some get yourself some borders or harden the access to the thing that tempts you, but sometimes it just completely do there and do that, and it's something completely different.
So perseverance,
and
on the other hand you see that God changes your perspective, your focus even on the thing.
And also one thing is that we still, even though we have a miraculous God, we still live. That's something that actually this is quite a current topic for me. I'm rethinking some of these things, how I've done them or did not do
them,
them, or how I and I'm finding out we still, live in physical bodies governed by, biological processes in a world governed by physical, laws. And sometimes God will do a miracle, but we still do not have miraculous bodies yet. So sometimes the end, or even minds, because they still live in the biological brain, so they still can't, escape all of this, even though they are being renewed each day. So sometimes the solution actually is, something that even like the world, let's say, or the knowledge of the world will tell you. There were people who were dealing with addictions. There are studies on it. There is science on it, or not even addiction, many things. And sometimes, or there are stuff in your life that needs fixing, and they are the underlying problem of all these things. For me, it might have been, what I'm starting to think now is irregular sleep and lack of sleep. And sometimes, this thing, God will help you, and maybe it will come back again, and then maybe again, and maybe there is something in your life, like either spiritual thing, or even just, a physical, or just, a natural, let's say, Sometimes it's a question of supernatural and spiritual, and sometimes it's just the question of the natural, of your body, of how human minds work, and how that can lead you to do other things.
If we deprive ourselves of sleep, then we make everybody agrees with this, I guess, that we make dumb mistakes if we're tired.
Yes, absolutely.
So, sometimes it's just pure logic that brings us back to Christ. Just by going to bed early, having some regularity in our lives, having a stable lifestyle. And I'm not saying that you have to then be, have to plan everything out until the minute, but it's I agree with what you said. It's the if we have an issue in the natural, you can find a solution in the natural. If you have an issue in the supernatural, in the spiritual, then most likely you have to find the solution in the supernatural. So, man. Okay. If we now would shift focus a bit and we go from loyalty to Christianity to Christ, I should say, which means having two legs in our relationship with Jesus, and we refocus to the thing that you started with, that in church there is many people who say that they are Christians, but in fact they are living with one foot in the world as well. So they are saying they are Christians, but they are doing something different. I think there's a lot of people out there who have been disappointed by so-called Christians, quote-unquote Christians, who were just like us, living with one leg in the world and one leg with Jesus. What would you say to people that have issues with this? That have been in church, that saw the so-called Christians, but they said A, but they were doing B.
I would say take the beam out of your eye first. No, but what I think it's very, because I know the story from the other side. I know that quite the opposite, that often these people are, judged, condemned, I've heard that there was this band I used to listen to, a metalcore band that used to be Christian, and then they just got on tour with other bands. They got quite popular, quite big. I'm still trying to think of the name. And because they just got into this kind of lifestyle, they also started, doing like coke, etc. But then their whole church and their friends and everything just started, putting their hands away from them and condemning them. They said that they did not find any support or understanding, so they turned away from church and from God, and they said, okay, we're not Christian anymore. We don't believe now because and
So that's because of the condemnation that actually arose after they.
They started as Christian.
Yeah, but do you think they felt conviction, like we said before, that they felt conviction of the Holy Ghost, and then in the same time being condemned or being judged by other Christians is causing a pushback, in which results in them choosing the world instead of Christ?
We can know for sure. But I do not think it's as binary as you either live like this or you live like, you are either full with Christ, or I do not think anybody is like 100% with Christ. I think that's only Jesus was. Okay. I think only Jesus have ever been 100% with God.
Should it be our target to be 100% with God?
A target, or more as a
purpose?
Direction, because it's infinite, so infinitely along a way, like the reaching that. So, but a direction it should be.
I think it should. Yeah, it definitely should be, because if you lose the direction, then you'll end up.
What I'm trying to say that you started with their church, and aside from people who live 100% with God. There are also these kind of Christians. I do not think it's either or. I do not think it's one or zero. I think there's a lot of wiggle room and a lot of places and a lot of areas of life how you can be configured. So that's why I think we need to talk about this, what we are doing right now. We need to teach about it, but we also need to be understanding. And again, the good thing is to remember, I when I remember how I was, that's you asked me, and my reaction was trying to defend people who are not 100% with Christ, because I know where I was, and that's why I can relate, and that's I want to do not want to condemn these people or want them out of the church or something. I would like them to get better. And I think we should that's why we should be understanding.
I would agree with this, that Jesus calls us to make disciples.
Yes.
And the only way how we can do this is to accept people where they are at a specific moment. Yes. In life. Yes. So if they are with Christ and in the world at the same time, we have to accept their position for this time. Yeah. That we are aiming to become more Christ-like, that's obvious. Yeah. But to meet them at the place where they are, I think is the biggest. It gives support from the moment you meet them. And if you do this, I've noticed in my own life, if you do this, then people are very, very open and receptive to the change that Jesus asks us to make. Because I do think that we have to, like I said before, we have to agree. It is this black or white. You cannot be. You have to agree with this. You cannot be black and white. Yes. You can either be black or white. There is no middle ground. We can try to live in black and white at the same moment, but we find out that it's
okay. I do agree with
that our lives show actually that we are failing to do so. That's doesn't need no evidence. And I would like to say to the people that might be disappointed by visiting a church and then hearing people say A, but they see them doing B. I would speak into the disappointment and say, okay, where does the disappointment come from? Are you disappointed in God or in the person? Because people will always let us down. Many examples in my own life, I guess you have too. People will always let us down, but God will never let us down. God has never let me down. Maybe I felt like it in the moment, but then looking back in hindsight, I had to recognize and acknowledge that he was there. And he was either teaching me something or pulling me through a situation and building my character that I wasn't aware of at the moment. So if you have been disappointed by, by church people like us, I want to say sorry. That's not probably not.
Yeah.
I hope it's not on purpose, anyways.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Don't blame it on God, because He will never disappoint.
He's not the problem. It's usually
Exactly. It's the people, right?
Yeah.
It's the people.
It's the people. Yeah.
Man.
But yeah. So I there are things definitely that are black, that are like strict and or. One is definitely being safe versus not being safe. The other thing is knowing who is or who isn't. That we can be sure. That's God knows. But even in like it is the apocalypse, Revelations. Yeah. Okay. There is I've spat you out because you're neither hot and cold.
Yep.
Right. So there is a spectrum, and
Hold on. For those who don't understand what you're talking about now,
right.
There's this book in the Bible called Revelations, or Revelation, I should say, not Revelations.
Yes.
This book called Revelation, and in it, Jesus writes to different churches.
Yes.
And one of the churches, he says, "You are neither hot nor cold, and therefore I spit you out of my mouth."
Yes.
And the whole context for now is not really important, but the basic message that he is saying there is you have to make a choice.
Yes.
Either to be hot or to be cold.
Yes.
You can't be both.
Yeah. So we have talked about some kind of sins, like drugs and pornography. These are pretty obvious, pretty famous. There is quite clear who is doing it or who isn't, right? And all of, but if you look how Jesus takes it into extreme, what is a sin or what isn't, there can be people who in the church or in our lives who apparently do not anything wrong, right? They do not have any of these. Yeah, apparently.
Apparently.
But they do not appear to be doing any of these,
obvious sins.
Obvious, common stuff. But then, you have pride, you have lust, you have whoever
looks at a woman with lust in the eyes.
Yes, or even like ego, pride, in the sense just because I'm following all these things, and I know guys in my church that do not. Some of them go to every Friday, they go to to a pub and they smoke cigarettes and they have beers and get drunk, and then they and then 2 days on Sunday they just come like as if nothing happens, but not me. Right?
Not me. I'm the Supersaint.
Yeah. So we really it can be really hard to tell who actually is hot and who is lukewarm. We can't, basically. So that's why I think it's very very harsh to even try to judge people based on this.
There's this beautiful story that Jesus tells about the 10 virgins in the Bible. It's a picture. It's a picture of the inward dedication, loyalty, which you cannot see from the outward, because he explains, in the story that it. They are ready for the wedding. They are all rightly dressed. They all have lamps. Back in those days, they brought lamps, and they all have some oil, but there's only 5 who had spare oil. And this shows the intimacy, let's put it this way, the intimacy that we have with God. And I literally cannot see how intimate you have been this week with the Father, with God. And you can't in my life.
No.
And I think this is exactly what you spoke into, is that we cannot judge.
Yeah.
There we might see. Let me. I'm on the story tour right here. Yeah. One time I went to Prague. I had some business there. I went there with two friends of mine, and we were walking on the streets close to the dancing house, you know, in the city center. And we saw some man, and he was bent over, like it looked like he was like carrying a heavy weight on him. He was literally bent over, crouching, making weird movements, and he was holding a cup and he was passing the cars asking for some finance, you know, some money.
Yes.
And I was looking at him, and my friends are looking at him, and we look at each other. We say, like, this. It looks like this man is possessed, like by demons, you know. So I feel this inward pity for this guy. I was like, this is not right. This is not right. Let me talk to him. Yeah. So I was judging this man or his situation by his outward appearance, right? Yeah. So we walk up to him. I start a conversation. Turns out this guy is a Christian. He has surrendered his life to Christ, and he has walked like this his entire life. And he has found peace in it. And we asked him, hey, would you like us to pray for you? He said yes, but he did. And then actually it turned out he was praying for us. So, you know, just to mention that. That's awesome. That this guy, it looks like he's possessed, having a hard life. But in fact, he was living the life full aware of who he was in Christ. And it shows us that, man, we can never judge a book by its cover. Yeah. Never.
Oh, it's one of my favorite passages from the Bible. The man looks at the outwards, but God looks at the heart. That's literally right what it is about.
Exactly. Yeah.
Jesus himself then tells the example about, you know, David coming for the bread.
In the temple.
That is literally forbidden by law. Yeah. Which sometimes kills people when they they transgress it. And he doesn't, you know, judge him. He doesn't say, and also it's not in the sentence which says, I don't know, I'm sure it is there. I don't remember exactly that. The only I think it's the end of Samuel or Kings, that the only unrighteous thing that David did was cheating with Bathsheba. Yeah. And you know why? That's interesting story. We go back again. Because he was up too late and he should have been in his bed already.
Here we go.
That's the story.
That's the time when things happen that should not happen, right? When we have to decide it's time to go to bed, we have to go. Yeah. Not hang out, because then stupid stuff will happen. Yeah.
So I don't want to, you know, I don't want this to sound that I'm saying, you know, it's okay for you to live like this. I think I said one of the most important thing for you to know is that it's not okay. But just, you know, I'm trying to keep you, you know, full of hope and do not, you know, also do not condemn yourself, because Jesus does not condemn you. And the shame and the guilt might hurt you much more than I don't know what I was going to say, but it can really hurt. So then just maybe, you know, saying, or I don't know how to say that. I don't want to use the word like admit, then not accept the thing that you're doing, but admit it. That's you know, that's okay, but this is a thing I'm doing. I'm not very good at getting better, but I have hope that you know, Jesus, who always win, will win me back.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and it's the guilt and the shame that he died for. So
yes, exactly.
You know, bring it to him, admit it, and then bring it to him. Wow. And with that, man, I think we said a whole bunch of good stuff. Yes. If not, let us know in the comments below again. Yeah. Maybe we'll see you back in another episode.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for watching. You know, leave a like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Yes. And next week we'll be back with another episode. Don't know what it's about yet, but we'll see. And you know, summertime is just around the corner. Spring, man, you're
really
in.
No.
Yeah, it's just around the corner. Spring is upon us, so you will find us back on the streets again. You know, starting the videos of Let's Go, doing the evangelism. So watch the videos, support us, share the podcast with anybody you think might be helpful to hear this. And let me check to my right here. Do I miss anything?
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Oh, that's it.
Yes.
All right, with that, see you in the next video. Hey. Hey.